And a very good morning to every one of you. This is Home Affairs here on Joy 99.7 FM. My name is Edem Knight-Tay. I hope every member of your family is doing well. Mine is doing well. And let me say a very big thank you to Amasha Partners Limited and IK. Yum Vita, a delicious way to grow. Dano Milk, choose tasty milk, choose nourishment. Choose Dano Milk, go for it. And Sankofa Natural Spices, DDA. They sponsor Home Affairs and we appreciate them a lot. So we are in the month of June, right? And you know, usually in the month of June, we will make it about our men. And today we have a very interesting conversation. So last week, I attended a party. And then, of course, once they see Edem Knight-Tay, they'll start Home Affairs there. I remember same happened at Kofi's birthday party too, right? Some way, somehow, Home Affairs will erupt. It will start somehow. And so this conversation came up. Men and women, about why men, cheat and all of those. And I thought that, okay, this conversation is, we've had it several times. It looks like what it is what it is. And the men, quite a number of the men were given reasons. A man would cheat because of this, the woman is this, the woman is, and it's always because of the woman. But this other guy came up and said, look, I don't have any problems at home. I don't have any problems. My wife is a good woman. I can tick all the boxes for her. She's good. She's a corporate girl, she's on point. When it comes to taking care of me at home, she is on point. She's beautiful. In the bedroom, I give a thumbs up for it and all that. Look, I do not have any problem at home. So all the things they're saying for which reasons they go out, he can't relate. Charlie, he's doing it, but he doesn't have a reason. This is not because his wife has done anything. And that, changed the whole conversation. And when I asked why again, he says, Edem, you just heard me. Like he said, he kind of feels it's a man's thing, Yeah, it's not like, people cannot continue to blame their wives for all the naughty things and the nonsense they do. So he won't blame his wife or anybody. He won't blame his house witches or anything. He just thinks that it's a man's thing, and all the other guys are just trying to find excuses and to justify their actions. But quite often, they are just being men. So I asked him how his wife would feel if she ever finds out that this is what he's been doing. Then he says, I just go beg him. I go beg him. And then I hope that she forgives me. And then I said, so granted you beg her, she forgives you, will you go back to it? He said, Charlie, you be man. Very unrepentant man for that matter. I invited him. He says, hey! He still loves his home and doesn't want anything happening to his home. So that conversation he's not having with me. But yeah, I'm sure he will be sending me a lot of messages on the side. So Daniela and I had a conversation and we thought that why not? So why we themed our conversation why I let her in even though I am happily married. And I have two gentlemen here in the studio. Not that they are in that space, no, never. However, these men say it as it is. They are men and they understand the anatomy of men. They are counselors, who give very sound advice. And also because they are my very good friends. And so I invited them here so that we can have this conversation. Kofi and Kofi Boateng Esquire. Kofi is a lawyer, a family life counselor, and Osofo, father, man, everything. Kofi, good morning. You're welcome.
Good morning, Edem. You didn't add that I'm a good man.
And he is a good man.
Thank
and a
you.
very loyal one.
And good morning to our listeners.
And then I have my is it okay to say I have my controversial comment?
He's accepted that title.
You've chosen to label me that because you only bring me up when there are only controversial subjects, the ones that the pastors will shy away from. Then you bring me to come and say it because
he's a pastor, he hasn't shied away from it. So I have Kamina Atamedi with
I told you be a coffee crab so.
in the studio. He is a relationship enthusiast, and yes, he has just refused to wear the clerical, but then he preaches more than the pastors as well. So, Kobe, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Is it okay to add that you are a procurement expert as well? I mean,
and the management consultant.
That's right. So you're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay. First question: what do you make of this gentleman? Is it true that sometimes there's no reason?
So I think, first of all, we have to issue a disclaimer that just because we assign known reasons to the reasons why men have affairs doesn't mean that we condone affairs or we agree with them.
Sure.
We are only here to explore the topic and to help us gain some understanding. Yeah. So yes, it appears to be very normal with some men who cheat, not because they necessarily have problems at home or not because they necessarily have problems with their spouses or in their marriage, but they just go out to cheat. One, because they feel that they can. Some, because they can get away with it. Some people think that it's a natural cause of, because they are successful and they have all these other women trooping to them, they simply cannot say no. They think it comes with the territory of being successful. And then others, sometimes others wonder whether men cheat because they don't love their wives. They love their wives, but some actually do go out of their marriage to resolve problems that they are unable to resolve at home. So this may not apply to the gentleman that you just talked about, but sometimes there are some underlying problems at home and they don't want to hurt their wives, or sometimes they just get weary trying to resolve problems, and so they find an avenue somewhere else to explore and express their sexuality. Again, with that said, some people also have overly, they have such fantasies that they cannot express or explore at home, and they look for other places, other partners to do those things with.
Okay, great. So, two things I am picking up. That yes, the problems may be there and it could be the reason. Of course, we have issued the disclaimer, so that's fine. But the bit about the success symbol.
So you don't need to be successful to be a cheat.
But you agree that, to the what's brought about this conversation?
It's one of the variables that would cause it. Now, here's the thing. There are a group of men. I use the Pareto 80-20 principle. You'd always get that 20% of men who, irrespective of what their spouse would do, they would want to explore because it is just their nature. They can't be happy, they can't be satisfied by one person. So they would want to explore. Those people, I always say that the signs were always on the wall. You would have known before you married a person that this person is a player or a bad boy, and you chose to stick with him.
We're actually not even looking at it from the perspective of the women yet.
No, yes. So I'm saying that there are always those people.
Okay.
And you chose to be with him.
Okay.
So you would have to live with it and accept it.
But you
Then
know,
there are those.
Kobe, but you know that. I mean, when a guy is a good player, sometimes you won't find out.
You would find out. You would find
Really?
out. You would find out.
Sometimes after the
You
marriage.
see, the difference with men when it comes to cheating from women is that when a man is cheating and his heart is gone, it shows immediately at home.
Yes, this one, his
So you
heart
will know.
cannot go because there is no problem anywhere. He wants to protect his wife, but he kind of feels like, I mean, yeah.
Once you get down to the nitty gritties and he opens up, you'll find that there are certain things he's looking out for. For example, I married a very good woman. She's a good cook. She takes good care of the children. But she's not a bad girl enough. What I get out there is what they call the bad girl stuff. So that's what he's looking for. So you'll find those things. So I want to classify that these two groups of men exist.
Give me the groups
the
again.
ones, these two the ones that irrespective of what you do,
Okay.
they would step out. Then there are the ones who ordinarily will be loyal, but have stepped out because of A, B, C, or D.
Okay. Today, mostly, we will not explore the problems.
Yeah.
We're looking at those
why.
who no, I'm in this gentleman's case, right? Those who don't really have any problems to
problems, but
complain
they do.
Or
about.
reasons to go out.
To go out.
Exactly.
Yes.
So
You
Now,
know.
the main reason why ordinarily a man will be able to stay loyal is the Christ factor. Because you go through the Bible days before Christ was born, and during when he was on earth. The culture at the time was polygamy. And when you look at animals today, you don't find females going after males. It is males who go after females. And they don't stick to one.
Okay.
So the wiring is such that a man can always have multiple. The issue of sticking to one person has been cultural and contextual. In our African communities, it has been cultural for a man to have multiple wives. So it is in you, in the DNA. You are born with it. It is the West and the English who have a culture of monogamy, who pushed it. So if you take the Bible itself in its raw form, there's nothing in it that talks about monogamy. The only part of the Bible, anybody who has it should bring it. The only part of the Bible that talks about monogamy is that if you desire the office of a bishop, you must be a man of one wife.
But there's some
Also for his
inferences. I mean, we know that God took one rib from Adam to form Eve.
Exactly.
And then the scripture also tells us that a man shall leave his family and then, join together with his wife. And the two shall become one. So the context may be that because God expected one man to be with one wife. But to add to the cultural aspect, some people generally just feel empowered because they live in a culture of polygamy where everybody they know has a side chick or is married to another person, or is with another person, whether lawfully or unlawfully. And so they feel empowered. It's normal. Everybody is doing it syndrome. There's nothing to be ashamed about or, to feel. They don't even consider it sinful.
So why did they hide to do it then?
And then there is also the inability to resist temptation.
Okay.
Let's face it. Not everybody is able to flee as we are admonished to do in the Bible. Not everybody can say no to the adulterous woman that the Proverbs describes.
Yeah.
And so they get into temptations. They are unable to say. Some people are just yes men. They say they comply with everything. Everything that you throw at them, they will take it. And so when a woman throws themselves at them, they don't have the will to say no, and they just fall for it.
Does the idea of sticking to one woman scare some men? And I will tell you why we're having this conversation. There's an end to this conversation. There's the idea of being with one woman, because I've had friends that at their weddings, and even when we have conversations around, tell you that, hey, Charlie, you are going into prison, or you're going to be with this one person for the rest of your life. It's not possible.
Yeah.
Does that idea scare men?
That statement is not necessarily about being scared of one person. It's
Okay.
about being a single man who is about to lose your freedom, your ability to go out and come when you want, to do what you want without being questioned. And that is the fear they have that. So if I married someone right now, it means I can't do this, I can't do that, I can't do that, including have multiple. So that is the fear that generally men have. That as soon as you get to that point where it dawns on you that I'm really getting married, one of the things that will cross your mind is, wow, it means when I come back home, my wife can ask me, where did you go? And I have to answer. And it scares some people. And it's usually because of how you have lived your life. You won't be afraid to have only one wife if you really wasn't sexually active. But if you've been active and had multiple partners, sampled different types and shapes, then the thought of, will I be able to stick to just one, be enough for me? And that will scare you.
I see.
So generally, men have the propensity to go out and explore and to conquer, to go out and kill and come and feed their family. And so in the act of being out there exploring and conquering, sometimes they conquer more than they need to conquer.
And there's a dimension of mental health to it as well. For some men, being able to have multiple women is their own way of managing their low self-esteem.
I see.
They have a low self-esteem.
It validates
They
them.
don't feel man enough. They feel that the
see.
only way they can prove to the next person that I'm a man is that I have knocked this one and I've knocked that one. And those people usually brag about it.
Oh, no, some actually do it to prove to themselves.
To prove to
They don't
themselves
need
that-
to tell anybody.
Yes. Yeah, to prove to themselves. But because of their low self-esteem,
Yeah.
they use that one, they project that one to tell them that I'm a man. And if this girl, she's hard, you can't get. Oh, really? Are you sure I can get? And she'll move heaven and earth to make sure that she's done it so that he can say that.
This is just an aside. I hear there are platforms of, very respectable men who have these conversations on those platforms. So what?
What I'm hearing that is going on social media is one that we can't talk on air. It's very nasty.
Oh.
There are platforms today, I hear, that you have to be introduced by someone to
As
be
in
on
a
it.
male or a female?
Yes, on that platform. For you to join, it means someone who is there will have to introduce you, and they would validate before they accept you on the platform. And once you get on there, you are not for anybody.
Hey, Minister.
Yes.
Also, sometimes there's a lack of respect at home, and I know that in the case that we're analyzing, he claims that there are no problems at home, but some men are also intimidated by the success of their wives, and because again they're looking for that validation that they're still men, they still got it, they go out and look for other people, and that's why sometimes you may see a man with a very sophisticated, beautiful wife, but you see the woman that he's cheating on his wife with, and you wonder. Sometimes it's the house help, sometimes it's the lady selling on the corner on the same street.
I know, right?
And sometimes there's, pardon me to use the word, some very low class person, and then you're like, what is going on here? It's because he's looking for validation. This person probably will respect him more than the wife, the sophisticated wife at home does.
Great. These are very, very, insightful. Now, let me ask. We also know that men can be with women they don't love. Right? He doesn't love you, but there's something else that he wants, and so he's able to be with you and then still go back home to tell their wives that they love them. In those cases, is it just about the sex? If it is, I know we've had these conversations before, but how important, how critical is sex such that a man is okay to risk everything to have sex with somebody they don't even love or care about? And sometimes when I hear those, they scare me. You know, he went out for a party and then, right there had a one night stand. Sometimes you ask, so what? Did you use protection? And they go like, in the heat of things, who is thinking about protection? But you know this person has a wife at home.
Yeah.
You know, so is it lack of self-control? Is it how critical the need for sex is? What is it that will make a man take such risks, even for somebody you don't care about or love, when you know you have a family at home?
The same reason why a man will pay a prostitute for sex. When obviously I don't think any man loves the prostitute that they sleep with or pay money to have sex with. You know, so yes, sometimes it's lack of control, sometimes it's just because they can, sometimes they're looking for avenues to explore and do the things that they think they're not able to do at home.
So the thing is this: what is sex to a man? Sex to a man is a response to stimuli, just as you respond to the demand to drink water or the need to use the washroom. Sex is a response to stimuli. So you do it because you have the edge to do it. Now the question is, between a child who is, let's say, 9 months or 13 months and an adult, what is the difference between them when it comes to stimuli? That child is not in control of his stimuli. That is why when he feels like wee-weeing or poo-pooing, he just does it. The same way, a man must be in control of his stimuli to determine that even though I want to wee-wee, I can't wee-wee here. I have to find the next place. Some people don't have that control. And it is that control that you don't have. That is why in 1 Corinthians 7, Paul responded to the letter they wrote to him from the Corinthians, that chapter 1, concerning the things that you wrote to me about, which means a report had been made to him.
Yeah.
Then he said that because you don't have self-control, let each man have his own wife, so that the devil will not tempt you. So that is where the temptation part is introduced.
These people, they have their own wives at home.
No, so I'm giving you the premise for which Paul said we should marry.
Yeah.
It is because, 1, you don't have self-control. 2, you are easily tempted because of your lack of will. That he wishes everybody would be like him, which means he has self-control. And that is why he doesn't respond to stimuli like that. Then he went on to add that after you have married, do not defraud. That's the word he uses. And here's a lawyer. Defrauding is a very strong word. What is it? A felony?
No.
Or a misdemeanor?
It's a misdemeanor.
Do not defraud. Which means if you tell me that you are giving yourself to me, and we get there and now you decide not to give it to me, you've defrauded me.
Who are we talking about here?
Whichever partner. So when you go and you don't, and this is the thing that I always say when I'm doing counseling, I tell the people that, listen, you may be the best Christian under the sun. You can pray for 24 hours, but you still end up in hell. Why? Because by defrauding that person and causing the person to go out there either to a prostitute or to whatever. By the way, in 1 Corinthians 5, when these things were going on in Corinth, what Paul said was that anybody who joins himself to another woman becomes one with a harlot.
Yeah.
So by causing the man to go because you deny him at home, you are leading him to sin. His sin may lead him to to hell. But you are the reason why he's going to hell. So God will ask you, So being married places a strong responsibility and a burden on you to make sure that you are helping the person.
Kobe, I totally understand what you're saying and I agree. But going back to this gentleman
Scenario.
we're talking about, he himself has said that this woman is not defrauding him.
This man
Hey,
is in
let
that
me-
class
let
that
me-
I started with.
let me correct
that. No
that
matter what you
defrauding-
do, he will go.
Defrauding by false pretense is actually a felony and not a misdemeanor. So it's
Okay.
a serious offense.
Okay. So whichever way, this woman is playing her part. She's
So-
doing all that there is to do. And it is not
I
the
placed him
woman's-
in the first category of men. That those 20% that nothing you do will satisfy him. They are cheats by nature. You can't take it out of them.
Okay. So I'm gradually inching to. So what? When it comes to, let's conclude on the sex bit. When it comes to sex, Kofi, let me ask you: how do men see it?
How do men see it?
Yes. I mean, I want us to conclude on it.
Okay.
How very critical is this thing to
To
a
men.
man? Yeah.
Oh, it's very critical. It's something that men look forward to be fulfilled in, and it also helps to complete men as men, by being able to indulge or participate in sex. And so sex is it's an emotional need. It's a very critical need for men, and I'm sure same can be said about women, but today we're speaking for the men.
For the
Sex
men.
is critical for men.
And that is the reason a man can take
Desires
such,
it, and
no, I mean take such risks for it,
that is true.
even though it's not justified.
No, it is not. Yes.
Okay.
I mean, think about it. An orgasm is the highest form of excitement that you can have.
But once you get there, nothing clear for your
Exactly.
Then you come up with your
It's for the
So-
same reason why somebody would take to alcoholism or some drug addiction. Sex can also be addictive. But of course, in the marital context, it's allowed. Yeah.
I see.
It's a high.
There are so many things running through my head. So when there is a man, it's not possible, or question is it possible for an adult man who is married
Yeah.
and who is not, I mean, for whatever reason, is not having sex with his wife? Is it possible that for as long as he is not having sex with his wife, he is not having sex anywhere? A year, 2?
Okay, when you say adult man, are we talking about a man in his 70s or 80s?
Oh,
or
no. Men like you, married.
If they are not having it anywhere else and not at home, then usually there's a very big problem at home. Or
Okay.
maybe they have some health problems.
Underlying health.
But it is
Underline, yes.
possible
Yes.
that he is not doing it at home
Oh,
and
it
he's
is
not
possible.
doing it anywhere else.
It is possible,
It is
but it
possible-
will not
it
be
is
their
possible
will.
that he may be masturbating.
It will not be something that they wish for, but it's
Yes.
possible.
See, a man
And I'm sorry.
a man gets
Mostly it's because they haven't had the opportunity to do it elsewhere, or they are unable to go and do it elsewhere.
Otherwise, they will.
Otherwise they probably would.
Kobe, you're saying.
a man gets an erection. A normal man, healthy man, gets an erection every morning between the hours of 3:30 to 5:30.
Okay.
What is it supposed to be for?
For we
Exactly.
Sir,
And to validate you that you are a man. It doesn't
you don't
always
need an
mean-
erection to wee wee. You need to mount a pole for a reason.
It doesn't always mean you should go and have sex.
So, a man needs it. It is part of the makeup. If for whatever reason he is not doing it, there's a reason why he's not doing it. One, some men generally they don't have the confidence to approach another woman. So they may not go out of their way to approach another woman. Some men have
some have the,
Self-
don't have the
self-
capacity to.
yes, they don't have the capacity, because if you go to another woman, you must have the financial wherewithal to maintain the person, and you don't have it, so you stay sit here somewhere and mind your business. Some also don't do it because they have a lot more to lose.
Yeah.
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 So that is what checks them. But those are the people who have self-control.
Yeah.
So it's either they have a lot more to lose with their wife if they leave the marriage, because probably the wife is the one who takes care of them and does everything, or they hold a position in church where the disgrace will be such that he can't contain it.
Yeah.
So something holds him in check. That is why he won't do it.
Okay.
There are some too, they just fear God.
Exactly.
They respect God. They respect themselves. So they won't do it.
And they fear that there might be consequences.
And
for
they fear
taking
that there
it.
might be consequences.
Yeah.
Great.
Some, they don't do it because of past experiences, either to themselves or to others that they've observed or witnessed. So there will be reasons why someone will still be predisposed to the temptation but will not yield to it. You always need a reason why you won't do it.
Yeah.
My A4 sheets, the first part is full. And I've turned them back because I'm
But a
making lot
normal,
of
healthy
notes.
man, viral man, who is not doing it, most likely must be masturbating.
I see.
Because, and I always say that a man is a working factory. You are producing sperms 24/7. And wherever you store it, it gets full. And you must discharge. And the only way of discharging it is through that tube. And you have to either discharge it naturally or unnaturally.
Okay. Now I have another question before I ask the last two questions that actually is the end, to this conversation we are having. So you say that men respond to stimuli, and that should be a good one, right?
Yep.
Like it has to be something that you probably are attracted
It means
to.
you are normal, yes.
Not necessarily the normalcy of it, but this stimuli must be something nice, isn't it?
It depends.
Okay. Because let me tell you why I'm asking. You've heard instances, right, where I speak to a lot of people who, like women, the man is beating her, abusing her. Some men are very mean. Can actually throw food you've cooked that they think they don't like at you, and after treating you that way, order you to go and take a shower and come and lie down, and then they will still do you. What feeling is in this man? Is it just because the woman is his wife?
I said that some men have mental health issues. There are people who are sadists, and they don't enjoy sex within the normal context of excitement, happiness, and all that.
Or love making.
Or love making, in that they like it when it's like bondage. So apparently there's a kind of sex that is called bondage sex.
Wow.
Yeah. So those people derive fulfillment in when they know or they feel that even the act of doing it, in that act they are inflicting
They're dominating
pain.
you.
Yes. They are not correct upstairs.
And Edem, some people also have very insane sexual desires and fantasies. Some people are simply sex addicts. No matter what you do, they want to go out and look for someone else. And those people actually do need treatment. They need to see a counselor or undergo some sort of psychological treatment.
Those are psychiatric and psychological conditions.
Exactly. So it is not normal.
It's not normal.
For some
Okay.
people, no matter what you do, they want to go out or they want to sleep with as many people as
Listen.
possible.
When you release once, you release millions of sperms. There are people, so you find a person who, when he's doing it, he wants to do 3, 4, 5 rounds at a go, and yet is still able to or wants to do probably 2 or 3 different women in a day. Those people need
That
help.
one is sickness.
They need help.
So this other scenario I was sharing
And some of
with
it is
you-
spiritual too, eh?
Okay.
We haven't dealt with the spiritual part.
Side of it.
Some of it is either is an ancestral curse or an altar in the family, so it runs in the family. Some of it's a curse that someone placed on you. So you went to take someone's wife, you want to take someone's girlfriend, the person cursed you, that you will never stop chasing. So you do it, but you don't have a reason for doing it. You do it because spiritually you are compelled to do it.
Wow.
And it's supposed to be a disgrace for you. And you will do it till the disgrace publicly comes. Yes.
Wow. The insights you're sharing with us this morning. I hope that we're listening. This is Home Affairs, and we're live on Joy 99.7 FM. My name is Edem Knight-Tay. I'm speaking to Reverend Kofi Boateng Esquire and Kobna Atabedu, who is a procurement expert and management consultant. But in this contest, right, we're having, conversations, and we're trying to delve into the psyche of men and why they do some of the things they do. And if you have an opinion different from what they're saying, or you have thoughts to share, 055-1111-997. I'm sure today we will be able to activate the phone line at some point so that we can hear from you. But I was again, I'm going back to this man who, will do all of these things and still have sex with his wife. And the woman says that sometimes when he is done, the moment they are done, he just pushes her away and goes like, get up and go and shower and come and sleep on the floor. Like, she won't even sleep on the bed. Come and sleep on the carpet in the room. And I am wondering how this man gets an erection. Because you're not attracted to the woman.
Yeah.
You're treating her just anyhow.
He's
he's
just
been
responding to
abusive.
he's just responding to his stimuli.
So
At that point, he just wants to have sex.
He's been
So
abusive.
I just get it done and then I'm gone.
And 2, one, he's being abusive. 2, he's not treating her as a wife. He's treating her as a sexual partner, or not even a partner in that
Not
sense.
a partner.
It's
It's a transaction.
That he uses.
It's more like
to
the
meet-
woman is equal to a prostitute to him. That it's a transaction.
But she has
I just want to
children.
discharge.
She has children
Avail
for
yourself.
him.
So he uses her to meet his sexual needs,
Needs.
and that's all.
That's it.
But he could have gone
And
out
disrespect
to do it,
her.
right?
Does not honor her.
He doesn't. This one doesn't cheat.
Yeah.
This
Yes.
one.
Yeah.
He doesn't go out.
Yes.
Yeah.
He won't go out for
But has
his
he-
reason for not wanting to go out.
Has he always been like that? That's a question we should ask. Maybe he resents her for something
There's an
she
offense.
did. It's not justified, but there could be a cause, because of something that he feels that she has done.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, what you're saying. I didn't want to go into all of that, but so in her case, I haven't spoken to the man because he won't speak to anybody. And she's even afraid to mention that she has spoken to anybody.
Yeah.
Right. So they started after school, kakra, and then he went on to do his master's, has a doctorate now, and so she says when they started doing well, like making money, and I mean they used to go out together. Now when there is an invitation and I mean let's go, and then he goes like stay home and take care of the children. Like he became overnight just became very authoritative, and she tried to question him and to remind him this is not how we started and all. And in one of those conversations, she got a slap for it, and because this is not how we have been and we have had a good relationship, she still tries to talk. And she said she kind of felt like she pestered him for long to listen and to watch his actions and everything, but it just got worse. And that's how it happened. So for her, it's because, like you said earlier, he probably became a bit wealthy. He is the one taking care of everything because the woman doesn't work, and he's powerful.
Yeah.
And so don't question my actions and all. And then she also says that, well, he keeps an association now.
Yeah.
And they are like that. And that's what she's enduring.
So maybe he's attained a status in the society,
Yeah.
and now he looks at her with some disdain because of her level or her class. And so you ask yourself, why are you still with her? You know, so
but
she
obviously-
probably needs to also do some things to improve herself, not so much for him, but for herself as
Herself,
well,
yeah.
so that he does not lose her self-esteem.
Yeah, someone.
Something must have happened. And I've come to learn that when you hear a story, always
there's
hear the
another
two
side
sides.
to it.
Yes. If you go and find out, she may not be able to tell you what she may have done to make him flip all of a sudden. Because no one flips all of a sudden.
Yeah.
So if he flipped all of a sudden, something must have put him off. And
Talk about it.
It's a success.
it's not necessarily the success.
But whatever it is, Kobe, whatever
What
it
you
is,
have to do is to talk about it.
talk about it.
But that depends on who he is. That is his personality. There are some people they don't talk.
You don't talk, say.
See, there are some people they don't talk. They just act. So when the thing gets to them, they decide that, okay, really, okay, this is what I'm going to do going forward. That's it.
No.
It will take pulling that thing out of him. So in this particular instance, it will be necessary for the girl to get help to get the man to talk. And it will surprise you that the day this man begins to talk, the things he would say are usually not the very big things we expect, but the very small foxes.
The bangu or salty.
The small foxes
The house
that
is
spoil the vine.
unclean.
Yes.
and-
The house
you
is
don't work,
unclean.
the house is unclean.
Yeah.
You are-
And that is why you would treat a human being that way. You can't
So-
justify
So,
it.
so
He-
nobody is justifying any of that. What we are saying is that these are the reasons it made him flip, and he hasn't been able to switch back on.
I want to agree that they are not very big reasons. I
Yeah.
mean, from the conversations it may be something, but I mean, I think it is still not fair to the woman
Exactly.
because we're human beings. You will make mistakes any which way. So have ways of talking about it other
Yeah.
than being so egoistic and becoming a monster, you know?
Yeah.
Now,
So
yeah.
he finds her sexually attractive still, but he doesn't feel loving
No,
towards
he
her.
does. If he finds her sexually attractive, he will do it the normal way.
Then why would he
But
do it at
he doesn't
all?
find it attractive. He has a need. It's like he's hungry.
Yeah.
He wants
Okay.
to eat.
Yeah.
So he comes to eat just to
Okay.
fill his
That's
belly,
what it is.
not
Okay.
to get a good taste of food in his
Okay.
mouth.
Okay.
Because
And
she
it is-
tells you there's no romance to it or anything.
Yes. So
Yeah.
such people, they just come, jump on you, pine, finish.
Yeah.
Gone. Nothing.
Okay. That's was an aside. I was just trying to understand all of these things. But the end game to this conversation that we're having. So if there are some men who are like this, and I want to believe that there are a lot, okay, and some women have ended up with some of these men. Some women will still end up with some of these men.
Yep.
Who, regardless of whatever it is that you do, will step out for some of the many reasons we have talked about here. What should the woman do if you ended up with a man like that, or if you will end up with a man like that? Should the woman just accept it that regardless of what you do, some men will always step out, and so you shut your mind to it, and then if they step out, you take it like that. If they don't, then praise the Lord, because there's an opinion, right, that you can't keep a man. There's nothing a woman can do to keep a man. The man will have to decide to be kept. You can't do anything to keep him. He has made up his mind that I want to be married to this woman and stay with this woman, and that is his decision. It is not because of anything that you're doing, you know. Like you mentioned, I think Kobe, you mentioned it, that this man has just chosen to have respect for himself.
Yeah.
They fear God,
Yes.
and they respect themselves. And because of that, they won't do
won't do
certain
it,
things.
yeah.
So it is not your extraordinary food that you are cooking,
Mm.
or the Mama T will say the bicycle sex that you're giving him or anything. Yeah, I enjoy all of those, but I could still step out if I want to step out. But I have decided to be kept.
Yeah.
And so those men are there.
Yeah.
The ones too that no matter what you do, like this gentleman.
Yeah, that
I met,
20% who will always go out
if
irrespective
you
of what you
ended
do.
up with that person, should you still have heartaches? Should you just tell yourself that at the end of it, he will still go out? So, whatever it is, we are here. I will come to take your answers shortly. Come back and we'll take your answers very shortly. So just chew on it. We'll be back. So for your eye care challenges, I am urging you to look no further. Amasha Partners has it all. Your eyes deserve the best care and quality designer eyeglasses. Amasha Partners and Eye Care undertake the following services: supply of designer lenses, side testing, supply of frames, contact lenses, ophthalmologist and attendance and general treatment. You can locate them at La Opposite Trade Fair, Spencer's, adjacent to ICGC, before the Community 18 Junction, and in McCarthy Hill, they are opposite Benjay Lodge. North Kanishi, you find them at Swan Lake, opposite Greenhand Junction. Achimota, second floor, Densua Plaza, and Takrade, they are on the Exim Road, opposite the CBG Bank Hall, opposite Housing Junction. Kumasi at the airport roundabout, Kolebu, opposite ECG, and Koforidua Central Hospital. And when it comes to Tema, you will find them inside the Meridian Plaza in Community 1. Numbers to call 0302-939-850 or 0302-778827. You can follow them on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Enrich your breakfast with the nourishing goodness of Dano Milk Cool Cow Instant Powdered Milk. The rich taste of Dano Milk makes a perfect combination with your tea, oats, cocoa, and others to give you that great tasting breakfast you've always desired. Dano Milk Cool Cow is fortified with vitamin A. And it's also a good source of protein and nutrients such as vitamin B12 and iodine to help keep you nourished and strong always. Dano Milk is affordable in a shop near you. So choose Dano Milk today for your nourishment and build your strength every day. Dano Milk, go for it. This advert is FDA approved. Yes, Yum Vita infant cereal with milk is fortified with Nutri-V, which contains 16 essential vitamins and minerals, including zinc, iron, and calcium to aid in baby's healthy growth. It comes in 3 delicious flavors. We'll talk about the maize and wheat, rice, and wheat variants, and also in 3 unique pack sizes: the 50 gram, 400 gram, and 350 gram block bottom pouch. Get a pack that best suits your family needs. Yum Vita, a delicious way to grow. And are you thinking of where to go this coming summer? Adanse Travels brings you a combo experience as you explore the finest city in Africa, Kigali, and continue to enjoy the glamour and fun in Dubai. These 10 days trip have all you need for a fantastic summer holiday experience you've always wanted. Now, the sober reflection at the Genocide Museum in Kigali, the bustling nightlife in Kigali, the sight of the marvelous architecture in Dubai, the comfort and luxury of the various hotels, the buffet breakfast, and above all, the fun-filled Adanse at 10 party with performance from Samini at the Dubai desert is too good to miss. I don't want to miss that. You get to experience all of these at a cool rate of 1,650, covering flight, hotel, visa, transport, and many more. Departures from Accra will be on the 11th August, 13th August, and the 25th August. It's your choice to choose which dates to work with. Book your slot by visiting adancetravels.com or call 055-631-0404 or 055-2648-267. Adanse at 10. It's a vibe. Book now to feel the beauty of life with Adanse.
Vita is fortified with Nutri-V, which contains 16 essential vitamins and minerals, including zinc, calcium, and iron for your baby's healthy growth. Young Vita, a delicious way to grow. This advert is FDA approved.
Joy 99.7 FM.
Indeed, Yum Vita is a delicious way to grow. Because Yum Vita instant cereal with milk is fortified with Nutri-V, which contains 16 essential vitamins and minerals, including zinc, iron, and calcium to aid in baby's healthy growth. It comes in 3 delicious flavors: maize and maize and wheat, rice and wheat variants, and also comes in 3 pack sizes: the 50-gram, the 400, and then the 350 block bottom pouch. Get the pack size that best suits your family needs. Yum Vita, a delicious way to grow. Now, we're back here. And I asked the question before we go. I will get answers to that very soon. But I have some messages here I'd like to read. Sticking with it. Okay. Edem, men will always be men. Old people say that. No woman is ugly to a man. So some will have reasons, others won't. We move by sides. So it's about the man's ability to say no or yes and sticking with it. Edem, on a lighter note, Bible or no Bible, you see, we need our BPs properly regulated so that we can live long. We can live long for you. So when one puts the BP up, the others will put it down. Really. As for this weather, dear, I see. It looks like you are one of the ones that no matter what you do. This otherwise says, good morning, Edem. To answer you on why do men risk to have sex, answer. Compare it with when you have a running stomach. All you think about is a place to ease yourself. When you have the edge as a man, you look around for the easy to get and shape and size. Beauty does not come in. Mboko Prisoner. Hello, Edem. I listened to a Christian message titled How to Meet, Date, and Marry a Woman by Michael T. Smith. The preacher said a wife must be part, best friend, mother, and a whore. The part that Ghanaian women don't want to be is the whore for their husband. So the men go out for that part. Edem, Ghanaian women don't like sex crow. Uncle Ebo can confirm that from his research. The reason is simple. Man by nature is polygamous. That is why we are wired. That is how we are wired. Our forefathers had married many wives and there was very little problem with cheating in marriages. A married man cheats because they are living out their nature. Edem, I have a lot to say on this topic and I would love to call in when you open the phone line. This is from Kwame Hyomfe. Kwame, I think you should come to the studio. And then we have some people watching us. I'm really enjoying the show. Greetings to, Honorable Amwa Ewuku, MCA. I'm really enjoying the show with my lovely husband who does the same thing for him no matter what, he will cheat and come back home to tell you, but I still love him. Oh, wow. That is interesting. He will go and do it and come back home to tell you, and then you still love him. So that's the question I am asking. Should we just accept it and go like, look, there are some of the men that no matter what you do, that is what they will do. So you don't worry your head. You find ways of keeping your sanity. What's your advice to women who have ended up with men who are like this?
So I will start with a question. How far are you willing to go to get him to change? Because ultimately, for you to have some sanity, you may have to just leave him. In the case of an unrepentant husband. And so
Let's stick to that one.
Yes, are you willing to do that? Because you may start with talking to him nicely, go to issuing what do you call it, ultimatums. If I catch you again, or if you do this again, I'm gone. Some people will dare you and say okay, or they may not necessarily dare you, but they'll go out and do it again because maybe they cannot resist the temptation again, as we said, or because they may have a problem, or because they just simply want to go and do it. What will you do when that happens? Because when you threaten someone, sometimes you may have to carry through with a threat for them to take you seriously. So if you say I would leave and they do it again, are you prepared to leave? Because in some cases, it's only when you leave or when you attempt to leave that they will see the seriousness of their actions. So are you prepared to take that ultimate step?
But once you stay, I'm sure you've read Dr. Dobson's Love Must Be
Yes.
Tough, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Once you stay, the person
Then
knows
exactly.
that,
So that's why I'm
okay,
saying that is it something that you find yourself doing, losing your relationship, losing the marriage, for everything
be
that
like
you've
this
invested. Exactly. Or
So-
just stay put.
So it's a question of, if you choose to stay, how do you survive it? Now, the question then is, how do Muslims accept and survive it? It's
Okay.
a question of
But that is rooted in their religion.
so that's why
women
so
know
that is
already.
that is why I'm saying that
And
you can
usually they
you
don't
can
hide it.
you can pick the learning from how they are able to do it. It's a question
it's
of
not that easy.
it's not that easy, but that's why I'm saying that that's why it is a deliberate. I'm coming. It's a deliberate thing you have to
No,
do.
I'm just trying to say that I don't think the comparison or the
No,
analogy
it's the
is
same.
even
They are
right.
women. They
They-
always wish they will have the men to
No,
themselves.
hold on.
So
But
how
right
are
from,
they able
right
to?
from birth?
Exactly.
And from the teachings
So
you
I was
go
coming
through,
to that.
You know that.
So I was coming to that.
You will not be for
so
your
you,
husband
so allow
alone.
me to answer my own question.
Hold on.
No, allow me to answer
But
my own
then
question.
in where we come from, the Christian faith, even on the day of the marriage, the vows the man is taking in front of you is that I am not looking at any other person. So it is not the same.
So the question is, how do you cope?
Yes.
And I'm saying that you can cope by picking the template from here and bringing it
No,
here.
that template
Hold
doesn't
on.
fit in.
Okay. So here is the thing. We are all conditioned to accept what is right and what is wrong. So depending on what the society says is right, you are conditioned to accept that it is right. If the society says it is wrong, you are conditioned to see it as wrong. So our grandparents who were in polygamous marriages and they lived it without cheating on their husbands because they were doing it, and they lived, how were they able to do it? That's the point I'm trying to make. That it has been done before and it is being done now. So how are they able to do it? If you look at that one, you'll be able to do it. What those people do is that they come to the acceptance that this man is like this.
Who comes to
I'm
the
co-
acceptance?
The
woman.
wife.
But you know that in those cases, most of the time, the men don't intend to hide it.
But you,
They're
even
not
if
hiding it.
even if
And
he's
the
hiding
women
it,
back then were not as empowered as today's woman. So
Exactly.
when we make the comparison, I think we need to be clear about
so we
that
are
too.
looking at the coping mechanism,
Yeah.
and I'm saying that if you understand how psychologically they cope, first of all, they accept that this man is not for me. And in Swahili, there's a proverb that translates as, the man is yours as long as he's under your roof. So it means as soon as he gets out
Bobby,
of
I
your
still
roof,
think there's a point you're missing. The point you're missing for me is in the days of old. I mean, there weren't even.
you just read one that the
Which is
woman
what?
says that he is like this, but I still
Exactly.
love him.
Hold on.
How is he able to? How is she
No,
able to cope?
I look. If you're dealing with the issue on its own, I am okay. It is the comparison. Back then, I'm not sure that our men of old, they were telling their wives that it is going to be you and only you. That is the deviation. In this day, when the man is coming to you, he is making you aware that I am making this decision for you and only you.
So the
Back then,
expectation
it's different.
from the
Back
beginning.
then, you weren't told that it was you and only you. So you were conditioned and wired in a certain way before you get
that
into
you're
it.
entering a polygamous,
Exactly.
potentially
When we
polygamous
started the-
relationship.
when we started the
That is
program-
not the case because this gentleman's case
when we
you're
started
looking
the
at
program-
says that I asked him, What if your wife catches you? He says that I will beg, hoping that she forgives me. So he knows that he hasn't told the woman that I am a polygamous person. So that is the point I want us to stick to. So advise the woman who thought that it was going to be just them.
And they find out that.
Exactly.
And I'm saying that the coping mechanism is always psychological. First, you accept that this man is not for only me.
Even before you enter.
Even after you've entered, if you find out that this is how he is. So
But
you see,
but not everybody can accept that easily.
Not everybody.
Yeah.
That's what. So that is the example you made. The instance you made was that you have to set the rules, and you should be willing to follow it through. The ones who can't follow it through will leave.
Yeah.
The ones who decide to stay, how do they stay?
We should just accept that it will be like
You
that.
just have to accept that this is how the guy is
Or
like.
you hope that he will change. You
You just
stay
have to accept
hoping
that
and
this guy is gone.
hoping
As
and
he's
praying.
going out, he's what in Swahili they call a community husband. He's a community prick. So as he goes out, you know that he's going to distribute. When he comes, he's yours. What will make you be able to live with such a person? First thing is you focus only on his good sides.
Kobe, you know what? I think that the coping mechanisms, it's a whole conversation on its own.
Aha.
Our time is up. So we are saying that two things are the answers. Kofi gave us one. How far are you willing to go? Will you stay? Or if you think you can stay, then the other option is you may have to leave.
Yeah.
Should I tell you what those people who decide to stay, should I tell you what they do? They look at short, medium, and long-term planning.
So those ones will come
The
to it
short
next
term,
week.
I will stay.
Kobe.
Medium term, I'm gathering everything I can take. She's gone.
So hold it.
Waiting for the
Those
children to go
details-
to college.
Yes.
So I told you that there was an end game to this conversation. We needed to build it. Now the end game is a lot of women are crying, right? And he's doing this and he's doing this and I've said and said and said and he's not changing and the pastor has spoken and the counselors have spoken and the person is still the same. Now the person, as you have tried and tried and tried and changing, this is who they are. I mean, they have assumed God's, titles, the same yesterday, today, and forever. Hopefully, they may change tomorrow, but if they don't change, should you just accept it that, listen, this person won't change, and so I will have to stay. And if I decide to stay, how do I cope such that I have my sanity still in check? And that is the big conversation we will have. We'll end this one here today, and then we'll continue next week.
No
But we're
problem.
building up to something, and I think that has been interesting so far. Our time is up. Is the team here? They're not here yet. They're here. Okay, so we have to leave all of you now. Thank you very much for doing the listening. Weekend City Show is up next, and then we will have News File followed by Sports Link, and then there will be Showbiz A to Z, and then the rest of the day will continue. So stay with Joy FM. My name is Edem Knight-Tay. Daniela, thank you very much for putting us up to this, and to you, Oliver, and the whole technical team. We say thank you. Next week we will be back with the continuation of this conversation.
And then you know an admirer.
Hey.